Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about those very first pregnancy symptoms. So I did a lot of Googling. I had a lot of symptoms, not a lot, but I guess we could call them subtle symptoms that weren't so subtle to me because I'm very in touch with my body and I was ready. I thought I was pregnant the moment, it happened. But so I did a lot of Googling of symptoms and am I pregnant? What is the very first signs of pregnancy? What did you feel before you even knew you were pregnant? Those types of things. I didn't find a ton as far as videos go, so I wanted to dedicate a video to it. I knew I was pregnant before I missed my period, before I could take a test at home and I could have it show up positive. I knew that I was pregnant from the get-go. I swear 2 weeks in, I knew. So I'm going to talk about all of those symptoms and signs. And I want you guys to leave a comment down below and let me know what your first signs and symptoms were, how far along you were when you found out you were pregnant, or you knew, if you knew instantly, if you didn't know until you were missed your period for several weeks. Just let me know. So we're gonna put them all in the comments below. I will also list them. But yeah, I wanted resources for women. When I was Googling things, there wasn't a ton. There were a couple of forums that I relied on, but yeah, I want a place where people can come to figure out, am I pregnant? Or am I just imagining this? Because I thought maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't know. Maybe because I really want to be pregnant, I'm forcing myself to have these fake symptoms. What do they call them? Phantom symptoms or whatever. Anyway, so moving on. I have a notepad here of things that I wrote down because I am 17 weeks along. It took me a long time to want to share this on YouTube because it is so scary in the beginning, and you're just you're praying for everything to go well, you're exhausted, you have no motivation, don't want to put makeup on and look cute to talk about. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't want to jinx anything, and it's all scary in the beginning. So yeah, I'm 17 weeks along, but I wrote down my symptoms and I fully remember everything as far as the beginning. So very first signs that I knew I was pregnant. I didn't tell my boyfriend or anything because I didn't want him to think I was crazy. I just didn't. I don't know. We were trying and it happened so quickly that I just thought I was faking it. Not faking it, but I thought I was tricking my body into making these signs. So I had gas cramps for several days in a row that wouldn't go away, and that is not me. I don't have things like that, and if I did, it would be because I ate something that night and it would go away and I wouldn't have it again the next day or the day after that. So I had consistent gas cramps, kind of gurgling in the belly. That was the number one thing that I remember was my first sign. So I remember Googling, are gas cramps a part of blah, 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 sign of pregnancy? And they are. What it is basically, it's the implantation. You can Google it. The implantation into the uterine wall is what I was feeling as gas cramps, even though it wasn't gas. So that was that. Bloating. Oh, the bloating, which I still get a ton. It's crazy. The pregnancy bloat is no other bloat I have ever, and I have, hang on. Oh, you guys, I have the worst gagging. Sorry, gross. It's just reality. This is fun. This is fun, right? We wanted this. I'm just kidding. It's not, it's fine. Okay, so bloating. One day I was getting ready for work, and this was I don't know, let's just say a week or 2 weeks after we conceived, but I didn't know I was pregnant yet, no test or anything, no missed period. One day I was getting ready for work. I went to go button my pants, and first of all, I was very bloated, so it was very tight to button my pants. But as soon as I did, my belly was cramping really hardcore, and I couldn't do it. So I unbuttoned them and I was telling my boyfriend how bloated and cramping I was and how it hurt when I buttoned my pants. And I jokingly said, even though I had it like that gut instinct, I knew I was pregnant. But I said to him, I go, babe, oh my God, I'm so bloated. I can't even button my pants and it actually hurt my belly. And I said, what if I'm pregnant? And he goes, oh, you're probably just gonna start your period. Like that's why you're bloated. So we moved on. So that was another sign. And then probably like a day or two later, I had a day off and I was by myself shopping at the mall, and all of a sudden I had a hankering for McDonald's fried chicken sandwich and french fries so bad that I went and got it and mowed it and enjoyed every morsel of it by myself. And that was like so strange for me. I even texted my boyfriend and said, babe, I just had McDonald's by myself. Usually the reason why I say by myself is because if I will ever have McDonald's or fast food, it's because my boyfriend wants it and I'm with him or whatever. Like literally I think one time a year, maybe one time a year, I have a hankering for fast food and I'll get it. So that was really odd for me. I was like, oh, that's weird. Why was it that strong of a craving that I went and got it by myself on my day off randomly? Like that was like red flag, definitely red flag, because I do not do fast food, but I could not get it out of my head. I wanted fast food really bad and it tasted so good. So for me, the breast tenderness didn't come until a little later. I had breast tenderness, but it was like, you know, the tissue or the surrounding glands just mildly in the begining. Yeah, so that wasn't major for me. I know it's major for a lot of people in the beginning, but that's also a sign of your period coming on. So a lot of the beginning signs of pregnancy are the same or very similar as you're about to start your period, because a lot is happening down in your pelvic region where your uterus lies. And you know, when you get movements down there, it almost feels like mild period cramps or like, you know, the achiness that comes along with your period. So it's kind of very difficult to distinguish, am I gonna start my period or am I pregnant? That was difficult. The craving for me, that was weird. And the constant gas cramps, like constant for a couple of days, that was weird for me. So that was like, I knew it. I knew I was pregnant. Another thing was my boyfriend and I went to my mom's house and he was painting her bathroom. It was actually really hot, but it was June. And I was exhausted. I could not stop sleeping. So I went in her spare room and I just napped. She had to go run errands or something. And I was sleeping when she got back, and she was like, oh, okay, you must be tired, whatever. No one thought anything of it. And I just kept thinking to myself, because I knew I was pregnant. I don't nap at all, ever. Do not nap. So I was so exhausted that I had to sleep, and I couldn't get energy or motivation. I would just sit there. I didn't want to go in the pool. I didn't want to play cards. Like my niece was trying to play a card game with me and I was just like, oh, I'm so over it. I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. So that was another thing. Like I was exhausted and could not stop sleeping. Okay, so that's how I knew I was pregnant before I even could take a test. So on a Friday, 3 days before I was able to take an early pregnancy test at home, I was like, no, I'm pregnant. Like it's gonna say positive no matter what. Even if I take it too early, it's gonna say positive. So of course I took the test. My boyfriend was at work. He had no idea that I even thought I was pregnant. I took the test, it said negative, and typically I think, which I've never taken a pregnancy test before in my entire life, typically I think someone would get a negative response and say, nope, not pregnant, okay, moving on. No, for me, as soon as it said no, I said, no, I'm pregnant. No, that's not right, I am. So I waited 3 days, 2 or 3 days, and that was when like I went on, I think it was First Response's website, and it said, okay, you can take it now. It was like 4 days before my missed period or 3 days before my missed period, something like that. So I came home from work. I remember I was talking to some girls at work, asking them, because they've been pregnant or were pregnant, I was asking them, what were your signs? And some of them were the same, and you know, some of them weren't. So I came home from work that night, and it was probably almost 1 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I was too impatient. I just knew it. I had like just a weird kind of, not achiness, but an off feeling. All the testing says, you know, take it first thing in the morning because your urine's more concentrated. But I'm so impatient, I couldn't help it. So I took another test and it came back positive. And I could cry right now. This pregnancy emotional thing is like crazy, just thinking back on everything. I'm probably gonna cry so many times throughout this vlogging of my pregnancy because I'm just emotional. So I just remember seeing yes flashed on the screen, and my first reaction, as soon as it said yes, my first reaction was, I knew it! Like the affirmation, I knew it! And I was in the bathroom, and then I remember I told my boyfriend, and he was shocked. And then all I said was, babe, I knew I was pregnant. And he goes, how come you didn't tell me? And I just kept saying I didn't want to seem crazy because, you know, it was so soon, and I didn't want to seem crazy. And so yeah, my first reaction was just, I knew it. Like I was happy that I was right. I don't know. And then of course I was elated and just shocked and like nervous. I didn't want to go to bed and sleep on my stomach. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was just so happy and nervous and not shocked, but not shocked at the same time. It was all these things. I'm gonna end this video here. I think my next video will be all about the first trimester symptoms, cravings, not cravings, like how I felt. I'm gonna go into all of that in my next video, so I'm gonna end this one here. That was just my beginning, very, very first symptoms of pregnancy before I missed my period. Don't let anyone tell you you're crazy. Us women, we have that intuition, that gut feeling, like we know, we always know. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what your first symptoms were, or are, if you're going through this. And yeah, down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, if it was informative, if it was fun, if it helped you, you know, just give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not subscribed already. My next video is going to be all about the first trimester, the first few weeks, and how I was feeling, symptoms, and all of that. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to stay chic. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.